Hello, welcome to John Meihua Chinese class. I am your teacher, Jasmine. Today we are going to learn the fundamentals about Chinese characters. 汉字, 汉字. Hope you will have many takeaway from it. So the content is, there are two parts. Part 1 is about the formation methods, 造字法. Part 2 is about the strokes, 笔画, 笔画. How do we write a Chinese character? So before the introduction, I'd like to talk something about the vocabulary because it's about character, right? So this is all the levels about Chinese competency. So the HSK is the former Chinese competency test, similar to TOEFL and IELTS. So if you want to study in China, you may need to submit your HSK score to the universities. So different universities, different major, different courses may require the level differently. So especially for some majors, if the courses are now taught in Chinese, if it's only taught in English, you may now need this SHK level. But if the courses are taught in Chinese, you have to submit your HSK level during the enrollment. Okay, that's the importance about HSK. Second, if you are just a Chinese lover, you love learning Chinese language and you want to see how competent you are, you can take HSK test. So for each level, the vocabulary volume is different. So basically for a native Chinese speaker, if the vocabulary is around 3,500, you can handle maybe 90% of the communication either orally or in a written way. 3,500. So if you are going to do investigator, if you are going to be an investigator, or if you want to even read more ancient documents, ancient Chinese, you may need to have more than 5,000 characters. So that's corresponding to HSK 6, the top level. So as I know, I have some foreign students, friends. They told me that to get a master degree, you have to pass HSK 3. But to get a degree of undergraduate, you need to pass HSK 4 because you will be studying for 4 years in the undergraduate school. So you spend more time in China, so you are supposed to reach a higher level, which is HSK 4. Okay, just for you to understand the testing system and how many words you are supposed to learn. Okay, now the first part of today's class is about the Chinese character formation methods. 造字法, 造字法. 造 means create, 字 means character, word, 法 means method. First, let me compare the other languages with Chinese language. As we all know, For example, English, Spanish, French, German language, they all originate from the Roman language, right? The Latin language. And they belong to phonetic script, which means from the word itself, we immediately know how it pronounces. For example, for the word of man, this is the writing, but also I know how it pronounces because I can see the phonemes from the writing, so I can pronounce it. But what's different in Chinese language is when you see the Chinese character, you cannot immediately know how to pronounce it because it's a logographic script. There is no phoneme from the writing. You can guess the meaning from it because it's logographic, right? It tells something about the shape of the object, about the meaning of the letter, the character, but it doesn't tell you anything about the phone, about the sound. But by contrast, we can know how to pronounce English word, especially Spanish word. The pronunciation system is really, really simple, much simpler than English. But for Chinese, it's the opposite way. You can guess the meaning, but you cannot pronounce it without learning. Next is the history of Chinese characters. I don't know how many of you have heard about the Oracle Bone Script. Oracle Bone Script, 甲骨文, 甲骨文. 甲骨文 is the earliest form of Chinese characters. It came out more than 3,000 years ago. And during the evolution, Chinese characters evolved through different stages. After the Oracle Bone Script, we have so many other types of Chinese character. Yeah, let's learn more about this Oracle Bone Script. It came out more than 3,000 years ago, and it was in use between the 14th century and 11th century BCE. As for now, over 4,500 distinct characters have been identified from Oracle Bone Script. Among them, more than 1,500 have been deciphered, which means we know the original meaning of the characters. So let me explain a little bit more about this Oracle Bone Script. 甲骨文, 甲 means the tortoise shell. The tortoise shell. 骨 means the ox shoulder bone, ox shoulder blades. So we can know that the Oracle Bone Script was engraved either on the tortoise shells or on the ox shoulder blades. But let me tell you a little bit about the history here. Actually, Oracle Bone Script was not used by normal people at that age. It was only used by the royal court to do the divination. So the royal court engraved characters on the tortoise shell or on ox shoulder blades to talk with the ancestral spirits or with the supernatural powers, to do the fortune telling, to ask for the fortune in the future. Finally, they would record these events and the outcomes on the shells or on the bones. But anyway, Orable Bone Script was the oldest form that nowadays people can find in Chinese history. So the other scripts of Chinese characters are 经文 bronze script, 篆书 seal script, 隶书 clerical script, 楷书 standard script. So we need to know that 隶书 is the prototype of modern Chinese characters. So you can find the shape. You can find the shape of modern Chinese characters from 隶书, which was around more than 2,000 years ago. But the most modern standard script is 楷书. I would say 隶书and 楷书, they are like more than 80% similar in the writing. That's why we say 隶书 is the prototype of modern Chinese characters. For 楷书, it's widely used in textbooks, on the road board, the traffic board. Most of the written form of modern books, modern written form, is written in 楷书. Okay, the formation methods. There are 4 methods to create all of Chinese characters. The first one is pictographs. Second one is ideographs. Third one is compound ideographs. We can see that all the first 3 methods are about graphs. So you can see why we call Chinese script is logographic script, right? It's all about the shape of the physical objects. The fourth type is phonosemantic compounds. 形声字. 形 means shape. From shape, we would know the meaning, right? Probably. 声 means form, sound. From the form, from the sound, we would be able to know how it pronounces. Actually, in modern Chinese characters, more than 80% of Chinese characters belong to this formation method, phonosemantic compounds. Let's take a deep dive into each type. The first one, pictograph, 象形法. In this method, the character is actually a simplified picture of a physical object, such as the sun, the moon, the mountain, or water, or anything you can see from the nature. Our ancestors were so smart to create the characters just from the inspiration of the shape of those stuff. Let's take a quiz here. So there are 3 characters here. They all belong to the pictograph method. Can you guess each of them? What is the character here? So this is the circle, right? With the dots inside. This is sun. The second one and the third one, I think it's easy to guess from the shape. The second one is like the moon, right? In the first third of a month, the shape is like this. The third one is like a river, right? River. I hope you guessed right. Yes, it's sun, moon, and river. Let's take another quiz. The first one, what does it look like? I can tell you it's from the nature, from the wilderness. Yes, it is mountains or hills. How about the second one? What does it look like? If we just see the left part, does it look like a tree? Also, the right part, right? It also looks like a tree. Tree, yes. So when two trees are together, what is it? It is grove or woods, right? With many trees. The third one, does it look like the flowing air in the animation movie? We all watched the animation movies, right? When we were kids. And we can easily see the flow of the air. It's just like this. Yes, it's air. So the first one is hill or mountain. The second one is multiple trees. That is forest or grove or woods. The third one is air. So you can see that I think it's quite reasonable for our ancestors to create characters based on the shape of the object in the nature, right? Because it's so apparent that it assembles something real so that it's quite easy for people to communicate. The next method is ideograph. 指示, 指示. In this method, characters were created to use abstract symbols or modify existing pictographs to represent abstract concepts, numbers, or directions. So usually in this type, characters are quite simple, or quite light, not heavy, not many strokes. For example, this is a single horizontal line. This character is E, which means number one in English. How about the second line? This is R. It has additional horizontal line, right? It means number two. So this is easy to understand, right? Just very quite simple symbols. The third one, this is 上. 上 means above. It has one horizontal line and one vertical line, and beside the vertical line, there is a dot, which indicates that there is something above the horizontal line. So it means above. Then how about the next one? It has a similar horizontal line and a similar vertical line, and beside the vertical line, there is also a dot to indicate that this is something below something. So this means below. And the fifth one, we can see this word, Chinese character. This is Dao, which means knife. And what is it by adding a dot near the knife? The dot is actually indicating something or some place on the existing one, right? If we know it's a knife, and what is it by adding something on the knife? Actually, this character means the cutting edge of the knife. So as you can see, either we use simple symbols to represent abstract concept like the 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 characters, or we modify the existing pictographs to point to some derived object or meanings based on that. I think this is a very natural way to develop more characters based on the pictographs. The third method is compound ideograph. Okay, this is also about ideograph, but it's more compound because it has the combination of 2 or more pictographs or ideographs to create new characters for which the meaning is also like the combination of all the pictographs or ideographs. Let's also look at the examples here. The first one, xiu, xiu. As we can see, it's a combination of left and right. The left is a separate Chinese character. If you know it or not, this is 人. 人 means person, one person. The left part is 木, means tree. So what does it mean when a person is near a tree? If a person is standing near a tree, what does it mean? I would guess he or she is resting against the tree trunk. Yes, that's exactly the meaning of this compound ideograph. It means to take a rest. How about the second one? Second one, it's also a left-right structure. Left means sun, right means moon. So what's so special about sun and moon? They are both bright, right? They are shining, they're bright. So when they are together, which means something or some place is bright. The third one, it's a combination of 2 trees, right? Mu. This is Chinese character mu. When a tree is with another tree, that makes a place with more trees, right? We can guess it's either a grove or a woods. Yeah, so that is exactly what the character means here. 林, 林, 树林, 树林. And the fourth one, that's interesting. It has 3 trees. We can see there are 3 single characters combined together, right? When there are more than 3 trees, apparently it has more trees than the 2 trees character, right? 林. This is Sen, this is Lin. So what has more trees than a grove or woods? That is forest. That is forest, like Amazon forest. Yes. So this character means it's a forest. 森林. That's quite easy to guess. If we know the meaning of the simpler one, 林, probably we could know the meaning of the complex one. So the last one, 从, we can see it's combination of both person, right? Person and person. Or you can think like this, one person follows another person. That's the meaning of this word. 从 means to follow another one. So by combining 2 or more pictographs or ideographs together, you can get a new character with a derived meaning of combination. We call it logical aggregates. The last method is 形声法，形声 phonosemantic compounds. Literally, we can conclude that in this method, the character usually contains a semantic part and a phonetic part. Phonetic part is for the sound. Semantic part is for the meaning. Actually, in Chinese language, more than 80% of the characters belong to this method, 形声法. So below is the examples. For example, the first one, ma, ma, ma means mom. It has two parts, right, left and right. The left is, this character is, actually it means women, girl, female. Okay, so this is the, takes care of the meaning part. The right part, this is another Chinese character, ma, horse, ma. So, as we can see, this character, it has the meaning part and it also has the sound part. Let's take a look at the third one, he means river. So the left part is three dots. It's about water. The right part, this is another character, 可以的可. So finally, the pronunciation for this character is similar to the right part, which is the phonetic part, 和. The fourth one, 晴. This word means sunny. There is a sun. The weather is sunny. The left part is the character for the sun. The right part pronounces like 清, 清. If we reuse the pronunciation from the right part, then the character pronounces like 晴, just a little bit different from the tone. 晴. So simply speaking, one part takes care of the meaning, another part takes care of the pronunciation. So this is the fourth method of forming a Chinese character, phonosemantic compound. Now, this is the second part of today's class. The writing, strokes, 笔画, 笔画, strokes. How do we write a Chinese character? There are 6 basic strokes. The first one is a horizontal line, right? It's called horizontal. The second one is vertical. The third one is left falling. It starts from the top and it's falling towards the left. Similarly, the fourth one is right falling. Starts from the top and it falls towards the right. The fifth one is a dot. The sixth one is rising. It starts from the left bottom and it goes up to the right top. So it's rising. So actually, most of Chinese characters, they are a combination of all the basic strokes. Okay, then we have some compound strokes. Actually, compound strokes are also combination of basic strokes. For example, this is a horizontal line and this is a vertical line. So this compound stroke is called horizontal vertical. We can see some examples here. This is horizontal, this is vertical. The second one is horizontal hook. You can see many compound strokes have this hook, but hook is not a basic stroke because it has to come after other basic strokes. See, it comes after the horizontal. This one, it comes after the vertical. They form together a compound strokes. So, how do we eventually write a Chinese character? If we already know every stroke, either it's a basic stroke or it's a compound stroke. How do I start? How do I end? Yes, we do have answers for that question. That is stroke word order. So there are 8 rules for this stroke order. So the rules are the first rule, horizontal before vertical. So for very simple characters, made up of either horizontal lines or vertical lines, we always start with the horizontal lines, then the vertical lines. The next rule is left falling before right falling. For example, the character 人 八 rule. It has left falling and it has right falling, but we always start with the left falling. The third rule is top before bottom. So we start from the top, then we go through to the bottom. The fourth rule is left before right, similar to the left falling before right falling. The fifth rule is outside before inside. So if the character is like rectangular, whether it's closed or not closed, we always start from the outside. Then we write the strokes inside. For symmetrical Chinese characters, we always start from the middle, then left, then right. For example, this character 小 means small. 小. See, the left and the right are symmetric, right? So first we write the middle one, the vertical hook. Then we write the left, then we write the right. So these are the basic rules of writing the strokes. Let's look at some simple examples. From horizontal to vertical, so first we write the horizontal, then we write the vertical. From left falling to right falling, left and then right. From top to bottom, 六 Liu means number 6. It has 4 parts, right? 4 parts. So we start from the top and the middle and left and right. From outside to inside, 月 means moon. So it's like a rectangle without the bottom line. So we start from the outside. Also, on top of that, we also follow the rules of left to right. So first we start from left. Then gradually we write towards right. After we finish all the strokes outside, we start writing the strokes inside. For the symmetric characters, we start from the middle. So we start from the vertical hook, then we write the left one, then we write the right one, the right dot, the left rising. This is shan. Shan means hill. Hill. It looks symmetric, right? So we start from the middle. That's vertical line. Then we start from the left to right. I think that's enough for you to understand the history of Chinese characters and the structure of Chinese characters and the strokes. How do we write a Chinese character? In which order? I understand that as a foreigner, you really don't need to understand the writing of every or maybe most of Chinese characters. It may be enough for you to read characters, to type it using pinyin. Because in modern ages, we don't write with our hands quite often. But I think it's really helpful for you to understand the forming methods of Chinese characters, to understand from scratch how we write Chinese characters, even though you don't really have to write. So that's for today. If you have any other question or suggestion, please leave me a comment. Thank you. I'll see you next time.